when you're learning with us, guys.
We live in an actual
completely regular house with nothing strange going on in the slightest. Hey everybody, welcome back to Sleep Deprivation, the only show on YouTube where I get dementia at age 19 and die in my early 20s. Today we're going to cast our gaze back in the direction of these colorful characters as they learn about friendship. Roy's too busy sleeping off his last meal, so he doesn't make an appearance in this episode. I missed an important detail when I went over episode 1, but I'll just bring it up now. Here there's a picture of a worm in a brain when the briefcase is singing, "You could be the one that makes people feel better when they're poorly." They pluck Colin, according to the creators, that's canonically the computer's name, from a computer bush and toss him on the floor like a pineapple grenade, where he springs up and announces, "It's computer day," which is absolutely the main focus of this episode. It made me incredibly happy to see Colin return for another episode. Just look at him. Look at this man.
Are you allergic
Shut
to
up.
Don't touch me!
You won't get away from me this year. As Duck handles his mouse like he's in an erotic film, "Hey, nice grip," he alludes to two things. First, the mouse is sentient and has escaped in the past, and second, they can only go on the computer once a year. Now, mainly I just thought this was interesting, but we could take it a step further. Computer restrictions like this are often something parents impose on their kids, which you could take to mean our main cast are seen as infantile by the teachers and living objects in the house. They ask Yellow if he remembers the password to get online, and the show cuts to this poster hanging on the wall detailing each character's responsibilities. I'm not so sure that this is about remembering the password, though. Could this possibly be a more blunt appeal to Yellow? An appeal to remember something else? What is it? Think it through. Hurry up! We need to get online. I know how you feel, Yellow. These guys are jerks. You deserve better. Okay, that's not really what I meant. I will never get over how much the new season teases longtime fans. The level of trolling is absolutely incredible. We've been waiting for confirmation of the names of pretty much all the main characters for years. And now we can assume Yellow's name is something incredibly long with a hyphen. There's an internet router on the wall that wasn't there before. And in typical dhmis style, they've spiced the router up by adding eye holes. Thanks to you, I'm a figure of ridicule within the humiliation kink community. I will likely wet the bed tonight. Why can't I remember the password, stupid brain? Hey, come on, it's not your fault. You're just a most notable coward, an infinite and endless liar, an hourly promise breaker, the owner of no one good quality. Yeah, you can't help it. Thou hast no more brain than I have in mine elbows. Okay, stop. While I'd love to talk about how Warren makes me want to jump off a cliff, instead I'm going to focus on the high concept stuff. Such as, is Warren a worm, or is he just an eagle whose wings haven't sprouted yet? Let me know down below in the comments. Because really, who's to say? It's a coin toss at this point. Seriously, what happens here? Warren is able to stop the film and interject his thoughts and opinions while the triumvirate is still frozen. But what's weird is that Yellow and Red both manage to move a little within these scenes while they're frozen. They also express awareness that they've been frozen, with Red even managing to make a sarcastic comment. So, what's going on? What strange simulation are these godforsaken characters living in? What are the actual rules of the powers that these characters possess? I actually have no idea, and my current best guess is just surrealism. I mean, that's kind of the fundamental building block of the genre, a lack of clear logic and a descent into the thought process of madness and insanity. Also, Colin being interrupted is karma for him interrupting the globe in the original series. A bunch of stuff is going on here, but secrets-wise, let's first look at a specific couple of frames when Warren rewinds everything. Now, your immediate attention may be drawn to the man behind the mask. For in sleep he sang to you, and in dreams he came. That voice which calls to you and speaks your name. But what I want you to notice is Yellow being strangled to death. Who does this hand belong to? Why do they want to kill Yellow? These are the questions that we must ask ourselves. Warren's whole gimmick here at the start is similar to an anti-drug or anti-bullying PSA video. They often attempt to communicate their ideas in a distinct, we're cool with the kids kind of way, but just read as really condescending and needlessly dumbed down information that typically has very little real substance or practical application. Like, I find it interesting that I can learn more about certain topics from like a salmonella video than I can from actual educational PSAs about the same topics, but that's neither here nor there. Let's get back to the point. The point being, there's nothing wrong with Warren. When we look at this situation from the point of view of the main characters, we see that to them, it looks like Warren is just talking to the wall. He's gymming the camera, but there is no camera. Warren's whole character is very interesting, but I'll get more into that in 1 minute. First, I want to draw your attention to one singular fact.
Freelancers deserve to die.
He gone fire.
I love you, Colin. And you're really funny, but why? Why do you want to kill freelancers? What did they ever do to you? This apple is alive again. It might be a continuity error, might be a clue that the episodes are not in chronological order, or it might just be more confirmation that the house resets at the end of each adventure. It's anyone's guess. Warren's character and the themes that they explore with his dynamic is one of the most intriguing parts of this episode to me. There's a few different things to consider, but first I want you to notice that he is, quite literally and without an ounce of hyperbole, the worst type of person you could ever meet. I remember on the day these episodes were released and people were talking about how they fear they might be like Warren, and I just want to say, if you even have that thought, the tiniest sliver of self-awareness, then rest assured, you are nothing like Warren. There's a very important distinction between a needy or an insecure person and what Warren is. Warren simultaneously does not care about anyone but himself and is constantly wallowing in self-pity. His ego is astronomical and he's constantly trying to feed it. He cannot cope if everyone's attention isn't on him all of the time. He's the ultimate representation of a bad friend, yet at the same time, he expects everyone else to walk on eggshells around him. Here's a quick example. When he's singing a song about his past, he tries to elicit sympathy from the main cast by saying that his old friends weren't treating him right. This is the image that he uses to make that point. His friends were looking at a bunny instead of him for 2 seconds. How utterly terrible. People like Warren who don't reflect on themselves and instead attach to other people so they can manipulate and guilt trip and gaslight to try and retain friends or to uphold a perceived reputation are some of the most unlikable people you will ever meet. There is no self-reflection. There is no mutual respect. There is only a never-ending, desperate attempt to make everything about them. The one good thing is that people like this can change, but that's neither here nor there. More importantly, why did Warren think that these elementary school children would want to invest in his business ideas? He got into multi-level marketing, didn't he? Of course he did. Bastard. Before we continue, I want to really quickly say that statistics show 100% of people who watch my channel are incredibly sexy and smart and talented. So just keep doing what you're doing. I'm proud of you. Unlike your father, the kids on the projector are having a picnic. I'm not sure if that means much, but I do find it interesting how often picnics are mentioned on this show. Believe it or not, there was a time in my life where even I had trouble making and keeping friends. My friend, pun intended. I cannot imagine why. Now that I've torn into Warren, I think a counterpoint needs to be made about the way that the main characters respond to him even before he shows his more sinister side. From the offset, pretty much every character is a jerk to Warren, which makes him almost a sympathetic character, and it shows the main cast in an interesting new light. And to me, this just goes to show that Red, Yellow, and Duck have become less ignorant and easy to manipulate, and they see through a lot more than they did before, even if they've also become kind of jaded as a result. Seeing Colin join in with the other characters and basically be helpful the entire episode is such a fun twist. He's such a cool character now. I guess he was never really malicious in the original series, but this is still a pretty drastic change to the tone. I'm actually laughing. It doesn't bother me at all. If I was bothered by those hurtful things you just said, you think I'd be laughing? That's a nice coping mechanism you got there. Yellow's maiden name is Rat Eyes. They're doing a digital dancing. Hey, this is fun. Notice that the digital versions of them go flying past. Duck wants to go on the dark web for some reason. They all check their emails and Yellow only has spam mail. This is where the real themes of the episode start to come into play. You know, themes such as
how to grow your business using new methods, like selling copy-paste digital collectibles that don't really exist to whoever is stupid enough to be duped into buying them for higher than you bought them. Or buying bulk essential items and reselling them on Amazon for 10 times the price. You could really be adding value to the world and rising to the top of your industry.
Just kidding. This episode explores mental health, coping mechanisms, and disassociation. After being ignored and constantly put down by his so-called friends, he finally says, okay, stop, and retreats inside his own mind to try to distract himself. By doing so, he becomes unresponsive and pretty terrifying looking. So you think he's scary now. Oh boy. You're in for a treat. It's interesting, maybe not surprising, that Warren understands exactly what Yellow is doing. He tells the rest of the cast that Yellow has gone to the one place where he knows he'll always have better friends, his brain. Notice how incredibly tiny Yellow's brain is. There is a house and teeth inside Yellow's eardrum. What the hell? Okay, this animation style hurts my head. It's honestly the most disturbing part of this entire episode, with the bright colors and the strange, smooth textures. These are the Brain Friends, a collection of Yellow's favorite thoughts. We have a sentient tooth with a tooth. He's one of those ones that has one of himself. Yellow, drowning in the tub. This headless freak, who must be a roach of some kind based on how long he's survived. Lampshade Head, aka wishing I had someone who looked up to me syndrome. Notice imaginary shy older brother is one of the background characters in the original pilot for Wakey Wakey. And Yunfordinker. Unrelated, but I need more Yunfordinker content. We need a whole damn spin-off show. There's also a familiar face on the wall. Red and Duck manipulate Warren and send him into Yellow's brain to try and fish his consciousness back out. Despite all of their judging of Warren's character and appearance, it turns out they also kind of suck. This is just a general life lesson. Everyone sucks. Except for you and I, of course. We're perfect. One interesting thing I noticed in this scene is that Yellow's puppet keeps subtly changing. He actually ends up looking a bit like his original puppet from the first YouTube video, but only for the wide-angle shots of the whole set. Everything is so genuinely difficult to look at in here. The light reflections seem to come from random directions on all the characters. The whole feel of this place is just generally disorienting. I felt mildly sick viewing this, and I had to watch it over and over and over again to script this video. I want whatever Yunfordinker is smoking. Okay, but despite my misgivings about this place, let me set the scene for you. Here, Yellow feels safe. He's surrounded by people who care about him. No one treats him like an idiot. He has things to do and is rewarded for doing them. He has a sense of purpose and seems content and happy. And then along comes this goddamn worm. I just feel awful for Yellow Guy because no matter how much he tries to run away, he can't fight off the dread that he has to deal with on a 24/7 basis in this hell house of a show. Interestingly enough, Warren falls into the exact same trap Yellow did, as all of the Brain Friends tell him exactly what he wants to hear. They look up to him and value him just as they do Yellow. At least, at first they do. But Warren quickly starts latching on to people and forcing everyone to only do what he wants to do. He twists and distorts from a clear and innocent view of camaraderie and friendship to basically cause all types of drama. As Yellow gets sad in his brain, let's check on his physical body. Oh no. While all the brain drama is going down, these two try to find help online. They find 2 million search results, and Duck says, well, that's too many. Let's give up. Well, that's relatable. They find a doctor. There's also a fan-made Dr. Bushman website.
Final question. Right, does your friend have a worm in his brain?
Okay, great. I'm ready to diagnose. Just processing my diagnosis. My diagnosis is your friend has got a worm in his brain. Thank you for visiting Dr. Bushman, MD. Please leave us a comment on your way.
I don't know how long it will be up for, but for now, there's a link in the description if you want to check it out. Warren is slowly getting bigger and bigger. I believe the whole eagle thing is a metaphor for his conceitedness. He has a glorified view of himself as a victim and a savior. He inserts himself into the middle of a conflict between friends, not knowing who they are or what they're fighting over, and right away starts projecting onto whoever he sees as a victim. Wanting to fulfill this heroic role that he made up in his head, he just tries to put down the other two instead of finding resolution for their conflict or offering reassurance to Yellow Guy. And he just progressively makes things worse, all the while thinking that he isn't the problem. And I definitely didn't steal this wording from a YouTube comment. This is my own original thought. Okay, real talk for a second. I was not expecting shy imaginary older brother to go down the sewer slide. That messed me up. I had to pause and kind of reevaluate my own life for a second. Warren has slowly cut Yellow off from his friends, and then he tries to say that he only needs one best friend. This is a symbol for the abstract concept of Warren is a huge toxic douchebag. Yellow goes into his brain self's brain, and this seems to regress him further. This world, instead of being childish, reminds me of a baby's sensory stimulation video, like the Baby Einstein tapes. Warren invades here as well and has grown to enormous size. He even morphed into a more grotesque creature. Lovely. You can see him running around like a headless chicken in the background here. Warren screams that you only need one best friend and is then impaled as Duck removes him from Yellow's head. Pesky Bee is right. What is Brandon's novel doing in the trash bin? That makes me very sad. Follow your dreams, Brandon. Follow your dreams. A full day passes. Colin gives them a strange globe and says that he loves them. I love you too, Colin. And your brutal insults to that pesky bee. Colin is adorable. Red Guy pulls off denim very well. Don't anyone tell him otherwise. And the worm in my brain makes me think that the documents I've been forging have led to many deaths. This is brilliant writing. Also, Duck is turning into an actual psychopath. The entire worm in your brain song is oddly wholesome. It's one of my favorite moments in the entire show. Look at it as a metaphor for overly self-critical, unrealistic, negative thoughts. Understand that your friends still love you, no matter what those thoughts say. It's strangely beautiful, and it's a lesson I think that we could all take to heart. I, for one, definitely learned something about the true value of friendship. Let's see what the guys are up to now.
Talk to him like that anymore.
I'm never gonna see that skeleton.
Boo-hoo, here we go. I'm dealing with you!
Haha, yeah. I'll stay single and friendless. In the end, after Yellow gets fed up and hits Duck with a glass bottle, Red rushes to Duck's defense. I don't know, could they possibly be closer than they've been letting on? I love how all the voice actors kind of drop their voices for the ending fight. Anyways, I'm glad that we learned nothing. Learning is for stupid people, and we don't need no education. This episode is apparently the least liked by the community at the moment, but I think it's hilarious, and the mental health messages are definitely, food for thought. Each like on this video makes the vibrator that I stored in a secret location just a little bit stronger. And if we get to 500 likes on this video, I'm gonna move on to the next episode, and I'll probably make a mess. See you later, thanks for watching.
Soon I discovered that this rock thing was true. Jerry Lee Lewis was the devil, and Jesus was an architect previous to his career as a prophet. Suddenly, I found myself in love with the world. So there was only one thing that I could do. Ding-a-ding-dang, my dang-a-long-ling-long.